Okay, let's create a new document. Maximize the workspace area. And now we are ready to start. Choose the Shape tool and create a rounded rectangle using a 6 pixels radius. Now select the Add Anchor Point tool and create some points, making some clicks on this area. Using the same tool, you can move the points outside the main shape. And now we made a handler of the folder. Okay, now press the Ctrl-T combination keys to activate the transform tool. Using this tool, we can create some perspective on the icon. As you can see, with a few clicks, you can have this result. When you feel the perspective of the icon is good enough to work with, let's go to create some nice effects on it. An important thing is to change the main opacity and the fill of each layer, so we can have a nice transparent effect on the folder when it gets finished. Now let's duplicate the layer. And using the transform tool, you can change the perspective of it. That way the folder will look better. Now we are going to use the opposite tool to the first one we used, the remove anchor point tool. You can remove points just giving click on them. Okay, at this point the icon is made by 40%. As you can see, giving another color to the background shape gives a little volume to the icon, and that is very important for the next step. Double click the layer or right click the layer and choose layer style. We are going to give a little stroke to the shape using a color a little darker than the original one. Pay attention to these parameters, maybe you will find them useful for your own icons. Now let's add a bevel and emboss effect. We're going to add a drop shadow tool. Notice how the shadow adds an important feeling to the icon. Try to don't add too much shadow. Try to control the darkness and the transparency of it. After all these steps, right click the layer icon that we tweaked and copy the layer style. Now we can paste this layer style to another one. And now the work is almost finished. But first, we are going to bend a little the folder icon. Using the same tool that we used before, the Add Anchor Point tool, we can create some points on the sides of the folder. You may need to hide the first layer before adding an anchor point. And we almost finished the icon. If you like it at this point, you could even use it. You can resize the icon to any size you want and it won't lose any quality because it is a vector shape. The follow steps are not necessary, but they give a nice effect to the icon, like this first one, the setting effect. This setting effect is a little tricky. I don't really recommend you to use it because it can mess a lot the image. Anyway, I choose a white color for the setting effect and I set the blend mode as color dodge, tweaking a little the distance, size and opacity. You can have some nice effect. Once again, I am going to copy the layer style to the another one. And the icon is almost finished for me. As I said before, you can use it at this point. Now the icon is almost ready. As you may notice, I merged both layers and now I duplicated this current one because I am going to create a reflection effect like this. Okay, I flipped the layer vertically and using the transform tool I modified a little the perspective of it, and then using a big soft eraser I'm going to delete a bit the reflection effect. Okay, I finished the reflection. Now I am going to create a shadow for the icon. I am going to duplicate the main layer again. This time I am going to distort it a lot to make it to look like the shadow of the icon. I need that shape to be entirely black, so I am going to change the lightness on it using the hue and saturation tool. Now let's go to filter and we will apply a Gaussian blur. After applying that filter, we are going to use a big eraser again. Don't forget to use a soft tip. And after a few clicks, we have a very cool shadow effect. Okay, and that is all. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial and don't forget to keep in touch. I am going to make some nice tutorials from now, and don't forget to visit my DeviantArt website. See you around. Thanks for watching. Bye. Okay, well, on the last poll I did, there were a lot of people that didn't know how to suggest a daily deviation. Some of them didn't even know about the daily deviations, and, well, some of them can't be bothered to suggest them. So this is a quick tutorial about how to suggest a daily deviation. I already selected a picture that I really like it. Well, yeah, I like it. I think I'm gonna save it first. Alright, well, the first thing you have to do is just to check the category of the art you want to suggest as a daily deviation. Once you get this, you can easily locate a gallery director on the unofficial staff list. The address is stafflist.deviantart.com. You can go here and scroll down on the journal. You can see all the admins we have. Damn, that's a lot. Anyway, on the artist relations theme, you will see the director, Daniel, my mom. And oh well, you can locate the gallery directors here. This time I'm gonna pick staged. I'm gonna suggest her the daily division I want. I'm gonna click this link that says send a note, and then I'm gonna use this code I have below the picture, this tune code. You can copy it, go to your notes you're writing, and write a lot about it. Just paste it and click send note. And it's done. Now you just have to wait for the administrator or the gallery director to consider it, and you won't be part of the I don't know how to do daily divisions. So that's it. I hope you start to suggest now. And sorry for my broken English and my weird voice. I'm sleepy right now. Bye. Okay, this is another quick tutorial, and this time I'm going to explain you how to create animated stamps, those stamps that you see everywhere on DeviantArt. The first thing we have to do is work from another stamp. I've downloaded this one, and now I converted it to RGB mode. This will let me work with layers. The next step is to create a group. I'm going to call this group Pitches Backgrounds. Using the marquee tool, I'm creating a selection, and I'm going to create the background for my stamp. Let me pick a color. That blue color fits. Now, this is the process to animate the stamp. You have to duplicate the layer several times, and we're going to animate some sort of a fade effect. With Ctrl U, you can adjust the hue and saturation of it. Now I have a black, a blue, and a light blue layer, and if you activate these layers in order, you will have a nice animation effect later. Now I'm going to create a white radial gradient, white to transparent, on a new layer, and that layer in color touch mode. Another little linear gradient in the base of it, and you have a nice effect. I think that's all I need to do for the background. Now I'm gonna create another group. I'm gonna use a stock icon I got. You can use any image you found, I don't know, like in Google, so be careful in this part. This is a stock icon, so there isn't a problem when using it. Okay, drag the PNG of the PNG icon, and I'm going to animate this one exactly as the same as the background. To do this, all you have to do is duplicate the icon several times. You can press Ctrl J. Now, starting from the base, I'm gonna apply a radial blur, a spin radial blur. Okay, something like this. If you press Ctrl F, you can repeat the last filter you applied, like this. So you have like 6 times applied the spinning blur effect, and all you have to do is apply the same effect to the next layers, but this time don't repeat it too much. That way you will have some sort of animation. Okay, now I'm gonna add a new layer in color touch mode, and using a diamond gradient I'm gonna try to do a shine. Well, this color mode doesn't work. Let me try the screen one. Okay, this will work. Using the transform tool, I'm gonna create something like this. I'm gonna duplicate with Ctrl J. I have 2 layers of this shiny thing, 3 layers. Be sure to make them different, something like that. Now you have 3. If you activate and deactivate them in order, you will have a cool effect. You will see all these things later. Just as a reference, let me save this and name the layer as normal. The layer normal will have the natural state of the icon, because I need to show the icon without all the fireworks things I just played. Okay, now the text part. The same thing as before. Create a group, and I'm gonna type something here. I love my music. Okay. Once you have the text here, we are going to do the same thing that we did before. Just let me fix this thing. Perfect. Okay, duplicate this layer several times, and I'm going to press Ctrl F to apply the same filler I applied the last time, which is the radial spin blur. Save this layer as a normal state of the text, because you need to show the text without effects. And I'm gonna use the next layers over the normal one, and I'm changing the opacity or the fill of it. It's the same in this case, and you can fade the text. Okay, we have everything, and now it's time to start to animate this thing. As you can see, I have a bunch of layers here. Let me down it. Okay. You have a bunch of layers here. Now I'm gonna click on the menu window and animation, and you will have this new palette on Photoshop. If you don't have Photoshop CS3, you could try to use Image Ready, which is a separate application that you have on previous versions. On this window, you can set the delay for each frame. If you click the black arrow, you can duplicate the current frame, you can delete the frame, and some other options you see here, but we don't need them. The measurement log, we don't need that either. Okay, let me fix this thing, and we're done. We're going to start to animate this thing. Now, when you animate something, the key is to activate and deactivate layers in certain order. I'm going to start with a black layer. I just duplicated the layer, and I showed the next layer, the dark blue one. Let me turn off the light. Okay, the next one would be the dark blue one, but with light. I'm going to duplicate this layer. I'm going to activate the next one. Okay. Now, you can set the duration of these frames. I start with a black and finish with a blue. Be careful with this, you could cause an epilepsy attack, especially in Japan. That's really complicated. Okay, so let's set the duration 2 seconds for the main black frame, the first one, and 0.1 seconds for the next ones. Try to don't use the 0 value when you animate something, because it plays really fast and it's really hard to see it. Okay, now with the icon we're going to do the same. I have the icon with several different effects. So, oh wait. Okay, I'm done. You just duplicate each frame, and every time you duplicate a frame, you have to activate the next layer and deactivate the previous one. Check it out. Now I'm going to activate the shine on the next one. I banish this one. Set the duration of the natural state a bit longer than the other ones, so you can see the node for a bit more time. Okay, I'm animating this shiny thing. Try to make it random. Don't follow the numbers 1, 2, 3. Try combinations like 3, 1, 2 or 2, 3, 1. It's your choice, to be honest, but it always looks better if you don't follow the number scale. Okay, the shine is done. I'm gonna make it disappear. Exactly the reverse process as before, from the natural state to the most blurry shape of the icon. Okay, now in the text area, I'm going to start to show the text exactly as before, activating the next layer and deactivating the previous one. You could show 2 layers at once, so it looks a bit better. Something like that. Okay, this is the natural state of the text, which should last a bit longer, for example 2 seconds. That way it will be readable enough. Now what I'm going to do is to make it vanish. I could try the reverse process. This is just a shine effect. Okay, these are the same. Something like that. Okay, as you can see, I'm just being random in this part. You will see the final result later. This requires some sort of experimentation from your part. You need to experiment with several things. Okay, the text is done. Now we're going to try something cool here. I'm going to do some sort of random thing at the end, so it could look like everything implodes or explodes and then goes down. Okay, I set to 0 seconds the delay so it can play real fast. I'm activating and deactivating random layers. You don't have to follow an order. You know what is said, don't follow the rules. Just don't follow the order. Just be random. Okay, I'm gonna deactivate this layer. I'm gonna activate this dark blue without the light and the black one. Now we have black at the beginning and black at the end. You could get rid of the last one, you can delete it, because after the dark one you will see the black one of the first time, and you can make a loop of the whole animation. It's gonna check it. Okay, it looks good enough. That's the fact. Okay, you could try something different at the end. If you want to create some sort of cool effect, you could just try to be random. What I'm going to do is to play a bit more with random stuff, duplicate again layer and activate and deactivate stuff. Since these frames last 0 seconds, every one of this, so they will look pretty good because the animation will be played really fast. Let me check which one of these could work to start from. Okay, I'm gonna try another thing. I'm gonna play a bit with the background now. I'm gonna animate the background like a black layer, the dark blue layer, the blue layer. I'm gonna reverse the process like a gradient. As you can see, black, dark blue, intense blue, again dark blue, now the black layer. Like a scale. Okay. Oh, damn. My brain fell this time, so I didn't approach it. It should have ended with a black one. Well, it doesn't matter. It will be really fast, so you won't see. Okay, it looks good. I think this is it. This is the final animation of the Deviant stamp. Now if you want to save it for web, you have to go to File and Save for Web and Devices. On this window, be sure to select the GAF format. You will see the preview here with the quality loss you will get, because this format doesn't allow as much colors as other formats like JPG and stuff. You could this is important. Remember the transparency. It has to be activated, otherwise you will have a white color at the background. So you can check the file size here. You have to take care of it, and once you're done, just hit save it somewhere and put a name on it. Okay, it's done. It's outside this window. Let me open it so you can see how it will look. Okay, this is the final result, and that's the end of this tutorial. I hope you liked it, and stay tuned for more. Bye. Okay, this is another quick tutorial, and today we're going to learn how to do those cool buttons that you see everywhere on the net. Something similar to the Web 2.0 standards. I'm gonna use Photoshop and this shape. Just click and drag and you will have the shape. Okay, now let's gonna give it a different color, the classic blue that everyone likes. Okay, well, if you want to create a background, this is a little trick. Just make a gray background and use the gradient tool with a radial white gradient like this. Then a linear gradient from the bottom, and now you have something like a cool background. It's not something plain, it has light at the top, at the bottom. Okay, let's create another layer using the gradient tool, the transparent one here, and white color. Do this, a vertical gradient from the top. Now control click the layer of the shape, go to select and inverse. This will invert the selection, and if you hit delete and then control V, you will have this kind of stuff here. You can see that I separated the gradient layer of the shape, and now with Control T you can translate the points and shrink it a bit and maybe distort it later. Then double click the shape layer and you can see many options here. I'm gonna use the gradient overlay. The blend mode should be in, where is it? Liner burn. Let's tone down the opacity a bit, something like that. Okay, the next step is to add the bevel and emboss. Click the bevel and emboss, set the angle to 90 and copy these settings I'm playing here. The highlight mode should be always in overlay. You can see the effect here. If you slide this control, you can see how it affects the whole composition. Okay, something like that. Now finally the stroke. This is very important. This gives a really cool look to everything you create on Photoshop, especially those digital things like icons and logotypes and some stuff we're going to see later this month. Okay, so pick the color from the shape with the gradient you already have and set the size to 1 pixel. 1 pixel should be enough and it should look fine like that. If you want, you can also distort with Ctrl T the perspective of this gradient thing I have here in the layer 1. Then you can use a soft eraser like this one, and you can smooth a bit the edge of this thing. It will look a lot better if you do this like this. Okay, now it looks pretty cool. Okay, let's go to the text part. Let's gonna type something cool. What's cool? I'm cool. I'm gonna use my nickname in caps. Okay, this should be a bit like that. Okay. You can put any shape inside this one. Then double click this layer, the text one. Oh, about the color first. Well, the color should be your choice, but I always like to use the same color as the shape. Then double click and put at bevel and emboss, and you can see many options that I'm playing here: the outer bevel, the below emboss, and many settings you can play with. Try to find the settings that suit the best for you. I like personally to use the outer bevel like this one, with the settings at maximum level on the highlight and shadow. Okay, you can add an inner shadow as well to make it a bit shrinked inside the button. Okay, finally a gradient overlay in linear burn, exactly like the shape. And now you have a text. If it looks too dark, you can change the color later. You can try different colors, even white or blacks, and it will look pretty cool with the background. Well, not background, need the shape. Okay, I'm gonna pick that color. And finally, last detail, it's to add a shadow. To do this, just duplicate the shape. Duplicate this layer. Okay, now I have two. I'm gonna use the one in the below. I'm gonna click clear layer styles and raster layer. This way I don't have a shape anymore. Now using Ctrl U you can turn it black, turn it down to the light of it, then shrink it a bit with Ctrl T. Now let's apply a blur, Gaussian blur. I always like to use this, a small one, just to give it a softer effect on the bottom. And now using again a soft eraser like the one I used before, and your mouse or your pen if you have one, you can make it look a lot better. Let's shrink it a bit more. Okay, something like that. And I think it's done. Now you can merge it and make copies for everyone, or well, this is mostly shaped like vector, so if you make it bigger it will look better. If you make it smaller it will look a lot better. This is the method that many people choose to design icons. For example, you design one icon, and if you use properly style in Photoshop you can have many variations of it. Then you can blend it and try different colors with Ctrl U. So this was another really quick tutorial. You have to watch it many times, or maybe pause it, and well, I hope you like it. Stay tuned for more. Bye.